As you know, this program's full of surprises. Aragón never ceases to surprise us, and this morning we find ourselves in a tiny little village in the province of Teruel, and just about 35 kilometres from the capital of Teruel. This village, just hidden away, is Balbona, and here we're going to meet our guest for the program today, who is Rosa, and she's from South Africa. Believe it or not, she lives here in this village. Morning, Rosa.
Good morning, Judith.
How are you?
Very well, yourself?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good.
And Rosa's going to show us around the village a little bit today. We're actually going to go to her house, and she'll tell us about her life and how she came to be here in Valbona.
Okay, we'll do
Should
that.
we go?
Yes.
Can we see some things on
Yes,
the way?
although it's a very small town, it's a pretty little town.
Yeah,
And I'll show you a few things that we have around you.
it's amazing. Yeah. And am I right in thinking, Rosa, that here we're fairly close to Havalambre?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are about 25 kilometers from Havalambre and 25 kilometers from Valdelinares, which is approximately, I'd say, half an hour each way.
Okay.
And it's very popular in winter because the people come for the ski resorts.
Yeah.
And in summer, of course, it's even more popular because of the fiestas and all the happenings. The people come back to their town.
Yeah. Tiny little population here, less than 200 inhabitants. Although today is going to seem fairly busy around the village, apparently, because so many people come here to visit in August, in the summer weeks. Yeah.
Yes. In winter, we're about 160 people living here all the time. But in summer, especially the months of July and August, we reach the population of 1,000 inhabitants.
Oh wow, massive difference.
Massive,
Yeah, yeah.
big difference.
Okay. Well, let's go and have a look. Yeah.
All right.
Should
Let
we
me
go
show you
down
around.
the main street? Or
Yeah. Let's go down to towards my house and I'll show you a couple of things.
Okay. to be quite a few famous people from this village. We've just seen the statue over there. We have one here.
Yes. The statue we've just seen is Franco Piquer y Rodilla. He was the founder of, I think it is Monte de Piedad of Madrid, which later became Cajas de Ahorros. And now we are in the playground which belongs to the school, and in this playground we have the statue of José Ibáñez Martín, who was minister in the times of Franco. And he also was started the advice of the scientific investigations. So he's the statue that we have over here.
He was born here.
Yes,
in
I
Balbona.
believe so.
Yeah.
I'm not very sure, but I do think he was born in Valbona. And his daughter, Pilar Ibáñez Martín, she married Calvo Sotelo, who was the second president in the democracy of Spain.
Okay, that's interesting. And we sort of in the centre of the village here, or which would be the main street?
This is the main street. Raja is the main street.
Yeah.
So the school is situated just like on the outside.
On the outside.
Yeah. The school, it's a primary school. It was about to close down because there were only 5 kids, 5 students.
It's a tiny population.
It's a tiny population, so there were 5. Both my kids came to the school. The school was at the point of closing down, and then the major did some arrangements, some paperwork, and we got a family with 2 kids that came from Bolivia, and the school hasn't closed down, and we probably will have school for a couple of years more to come.
Yeah, good, that's amazing. Let's have a little look around the village, because it looks very pretty, and we'll see if we can walk down some of the streets.
Yes, let's go down the main street.
Towards your house.
So let's go down the main street.
Rosa, this is an absolutely spectacular house. It's a beautiful area. How did you come to live here from South Africa to Valbona?
Amazing, eh? That you can come from South Africa to such a small village.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually a long story. My parents are both from Spain. My mom was born in Balbona, and in the 60s, the situation that was in Spain, they immigrated to South America and in Brazil. I was born, and my brother was born in Spain. He was about 9, I think, when he left Spain. They went to Brazil, and after, I think my parents were in Brazil 4 or 5 years when I was born, and due to the bad situation in that country as well, my dad decided to look for a better place for his family to grow up and for the kids. And that's when he decided South Africa had the opportunity, and we went to South Africa.
So you were still a baby?
I was a baby, yes. I was a year and a couple of months probably when I went to South Africa. I grew up in South Africa from a very, very early age.
Tell me about your life in South Africa.
My life in South Africa. Well, we lived in the outskirts of Johannesburg, and I went to primary school. Surprisingly, it wasn't an English school. My parents thought it was an English school, but they'd actually sent me to an Afrikaans school. So I wasn't sorry at all. I actually loved it, and spoke Afrikaans, English, German was one of the languages we had to learn, and I was brought up among many cultures that we had around, Greek, French, Italians in the neighborhood. And I went to high school, and once I had done my primary school in an Afrikaans school, I decided to continue with my friends to an Afrikaans high school. And once finished the high school, I went into banking, and I spent just about all my working days in a bank there for a long time.
And were the rest of your family with you?
Yes, we were all together there. I can't remember exactly at what stage in life my brother decided he wanted to retire in Spain, and that's when he started coming over and looking for a place. He had never thought of it being Valbona because there were no houses for sale at that moment. And one day he decided, well, he was going to build a house. He was going to look for a piece of ground and build the house.
Yeah.
And that's when he found this piece of ground, and that's where it started. He went back to South Africa, spoke to a Spanish architect, and together they did the design of the house.
Yeah. And but he never actually.
No, he didn't.
Here.
He came, I think, when the house was in the process of being built.
Yeah.
But he never actually saw the house finished.
No. And what brought you back?
What brought me back to Spain? Well, to Bologna.
Yeah.
I'd never in my dreams have thought of coming to Balboa. I was working in South Africa, I had my house, I had my family, but unfortunately a year after my brother passed away, my husband passed away as well, in a car accident, and due to the insecurity of the country, I was left with a 14. It was about 14 months, I think, when my husband passed away. My kid was 14 months, and a couple of years later, I decided, well, I'm going to pack up as well, and I'm going to go because the insecurity in the country was terrible. You couldn't go out. It was in the apartheid situation when Mandela was freed from jail and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was really high insecurity that we had. And being alone and left with a child, I decided, well, I'm going to try my luck in the village where my parents were.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up here.
Yeah. Had you been here before? Had you visited?
Yes, I came basically to the village. We used to come every 2 years on holidays for about a month.
Yeah.
We used to come and stay. The house wasn't built, of course. We used to stay with relatives in the town. We used to go typical. I remember coming to the village, going down to the river to look for my aunt. She was washing clothes in the river.
Yeah.
Typical traditions that they had back then, because they had no other way of doing the things. It was a very, very old house that they had. We came to live with it was my mother's sister.
Yeah.
That we came to stay with.
So
when we came on holidays.
How many years have you been in Valbona now?
I came to Balboa in 1995.
Yeah.
And since then, I've been in Balboa and doing teaching, basically. I've been in teaching.
And did you bring many things things with you? Did you leave anything?
Well, I didn't leave. My parents came before me, and they came with a full container, the household, everything, and myself as well. I packed up my house, brought everything in a container, and when my parents came over, they even brought back with them a Ford Escort and a 4x4 pickup.
Really?
Yes.
Ford Escort.
A Ford Escort.
Yeah, I have a Ford Escort.
Do you?
From England.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from the 70s, early 70s. Mark
Yeah,
one.
I think my dad's was from probably the same time, 70s, 80s. Can't remember.
Yeah.
It's still downstairs in the garden. My dad brought it, and I just haven't had the heart to get rid of it.
No.
It's like just something that reminds me
Yeah.
of back South Africa, and I still use the pickup when we have to get rid of rubbish or just clean out the garden or something. Use the pickup, and the people are totally amazed because, of course, the steering wheel's on the right, and you drive past and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
you know, who's driving?
So you don't use it.
I do. The pickup from time to time.
The
Not
pickup, yeah. But
no, the other one, it's no, we don't use it anymore.
Show you. Is that the one that was down there?
It's the one that's in the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we go and see it?
Shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go down and see the car.
So this is your Ford Escort.
Yes, this is the Ford Escort my parents brought from South Africa when they came to Spain. And my dad used it for many years to go to Teruel, to go to Valencia for his everyday use. And now we're not using it because, of course, we bought new cars and this car's just been left here in the garden. I had it in the garage, but of course the new cars took the place of the old car, and unfortunately this one was left here.
Yeah.
And it's still in fairly good condition.
Yeah, yeah. I have, this is, I think this is Mark II, isn't it?
I've got no idea.
Yeah,
it's 1600.
Yeah. And I remember the Mark I is the one that I have, and that's from 1974. And then my mum and dad actually had one exactly like this. Yeah. And identical, of course, with the the darker shade of the same colour, but the darker shade.
I remember when my dad started driving this car through the village over here, the people were totally stunned, like, how can he drive with the steering wheel on the other side? And how can you overtake? They used to ask us questions
just by looking at
it.
Yeah.
So, right, shall we go to the Pantano of Valbona?
Okay.
It's a lake.
Yeah.
And it's very popular in summer, where the people go swimming, sailing, they go walking, many things
nice.
to do.
Yeah.
Shall we go have a look?
Yeah. This is a great place for people to come in summer.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very popular. Very popular. People from all around the villages, they come here in summer. They swim, go fishing. Some of them even go kayaking over here.
Yeah.
They do a lot of sailing as well.
Yeah.
It's very popular.
Yeah. Did you come with your children?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. As a matter of fact, every time when we reach the end of the school year, we used to come with the teachers, and towards the end of June, and with all the mothers, the children of the school, the parents and everything, we used to come and have like a picnic.
Yeah.
Everybody used to bring something, and we used to have lunch here together and spend the day swimming and spending the last day of school together with all the families.
Yeah. So it's a reservoir, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
From the river.
It comes from a river, from the river that brings the water towards here. I believe this river changes name as it goes through the different villages. It starts up in Alcalá de la Selva. So in Alcalá it's called Rio de Alcalá de la Selva. As it goes through Cabra de Mora, it changes to Rio Cabra de Mora, and when it gets to Balbona, it's Rio Valbona.
Okay.
So it doesn't have an original name.
Yeah. And the other place around here is the Azus.
We're gonna go, if you want, we can have a look at it. This water goes down to El Azuz. It's a low dam that was built to keep the water, and it's also very popular. It's very pretty. It's got like it ends up in like a waterfall, and it's also very popular for people to go spend the day there. But this is obviously more like a beach that they come and spend the day.
Yes, and then the water will be used for agriculture in the area to water the
Yes,
fields?
yes.
Yeah.
With this water, the fields get watered.
Yeah.
It goes down with, it's got canals that takes it down. It's been built that way. And the people of Valbona all water their fields with the water from here.
Yeah, yeah. And what are the typical crops in this area?
Corn, basically, I think, and yeah, corn, I think, and I wouldn't be able to tell you now. Can't remember of the others. They do a lot of corn. They do the sunflowers.
Yeah.
And very popular over here is the truffle, la truffa.
Yeah. Oh, I love truffles.
They're very popular, and it's actually very, very expensive, as you know.
Yeah.
People pay very high price for a kilo of it, and there are lots of carrascas planted for this reason, and many dishes are prepared with la truffa.
Yeah. Both savoury and sweet dishes.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They do.
Okay.
They use them for many things.
Yeah.
For desserts as well. I've tasted them in desserts.
Yeah.
So it's got a big variety of use that they give the truffle.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anywhere we could go?
Yes, we can
near
go
here?
to
See?
a mill which was before where they used to grind the grain. And we can go have a look. It used to be an old mill which is now being converted into a rural complex.
Okay.
And it's a hotel, rural hotel, very pretty.
Nice. Yeah. And there they serve dishes
They
made
serve
with
different
local
dishes
produce.
of the place, of the
Yeah.
typical in Balbona and the surroundings of Balbona.
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds
shall
good.
we go?
Let's go there now, yeah? Okay. What's life like here in Valbona?
What's life like in Balbona? Well, very different from living in South Africa, definitely. It's very peaceful, very quiet. Not many things to do as you would have back in South Africa, but nevertheless, it's a change.
Yeah,
it's a big change.
Yeah, it's a small, peaceful place.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Very peaceful.
And you're working here? You're teaching English?
Yes, I'm teaching English. I've been teaching English from about 96, a year after I came to Spain, to Valbona, and I've been teaching in Morada de Rubielos, in La Puebla de Valverde, and also in Valbona.
Yeah, very good.
It's been mainly primary school kids and high school, and what I've been doing with them is helping them to understand English that they don't understand at school, do revision of their English, and just try to help them out to be able to pass the subject.
Yeah, that's great. And do you find that in these places with such a low population, you have enough students?
No,
So,
definitely not. It's a problem in these places. You don't have a big population, and therefore the growth of the kids it's very low. As a matter of fact, the school, like I told you before, was about to close down due to having so few kids, and therefore I had to look for something else, and that's when I started teaching in Alcani, which is a bigger city. Whereas in Valbona you have 160 people living. In Alcani we have a population of close to 20,000. So it's a big change.
It's quite a long way though, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's 2 hours drive. It's close to 180 kilometers. So I go every Sunday. I go and we come back on Fridays. So it is a long drive, but it's worth it.
Hard work, really.
It is.
Everything.
It is hard work, but I like it.
Rosa, it's fascinating to hear you speaking in English, and I notice that you have a kind of African accent.
I have been told so many people when they speak to me, English people, that have sometimes people that have just come to visit and you see them speaking English. I go up to them and we start speaking English, and they immediately say, "Oh, you're not British. You've got an African accent." They notice it straight away.
You have much opportunity to
not native speakers. Only sometimes when, like I said, in summer, you have the tourists that come.
Yeah.
And sometimes the major will call me and say, look, we've got English people that have come. Would you mind help translating? A couple of things like that, but not really.
Yeah. And did you notice, did you feel a culture shock when you came from a big place like a big city like Johannesburg to Valbona?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, yes. I mean, coming from Johannesburg or the outskirts of Johannesburg where I lived, it's a big change.
Yeah.
And coming to Balbona, it takes to get adjusted to it.
Yeah.
It does. Takes a long time.
Yeah. So you were there for all those years in an English-speaking community.
Yes.
And did your family? How did your mum and dad get on? How did they learn?
We had my mom never got to speak the language.
No.
She never really needed to. And my dad did, because he had a hairdresser salon, and he eventually started to learn English. Not fluently, but enough to be able to communicate with the clients. And my mom never needed to speak English, because whenever we had to go shopping or anything had to be done, she had to go either with me or with my brother.
Yeah.
She would go, so there was never really a necessity for her to.
No, that was funny what you told me before about your mum thought you were going to an English speaking school, and it was actually Afrikaans.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Only later did they realize it, but then I was already immersed in it, so I loved it. I don't want to change.
Yeah. And did your mum find any kind of little Spanish community there?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there are still Spanish people living there. We have lots of my friends are Spanish living in South Africa. I'm still in touch with them. And we had, I remember having, when I was a kid, I went to a Spanish club, we used to call it, where we had Spanish teachers that came from Madrid to teach us to speak Spanish properly, the grammar and everything. And I remember going, I think it was twice a week. We used to go after school. I had to catch a bus, go with my mom to this place, and there we would meet up with all the Spanish people. We used to take their children to just learn Spanish.
Yes. Yeah. Have you still any relatives in Africa?
Relatives, very few. At the moment, I only have my sister-in-law and my niece living in South Africa. The rest I have of friends.
Yeah. How old is your niece?
My niece is 27.
Yeah. Have you seen her recently? Or?
No, no, not recently. I hope to see her soon. Due to family situations and family problems when we left South Africa, I didn't see her, but I am in touch with her. We emailing and we now WhatsApping as well.
Now with all these
the new technologies. We keep basically once a week or so. We try to send a message and see how she is.
Yeah. What was you told me once about your brother marrying?
My brother married with my husband's sister.
Right.
Yes, so we were brother and sister, married to brother and sister. Yes, it was complicated because we had the same in-laws. We used to go to the same family meetings, everything. So it was nice.
Yeah. Is there anything you really miss about South Africa?
Of course, I miss my friends most of all, because I've really got good friends back in South Africa. And what I miss most, of course, is the weather.
Yeah.
The weather in South Africa is not comparable to the weather in Spain, especially in Balbona.
Yes.
Where in South Africa you hardly ever get to see the snow.
Yeah.
Over here it's like temperatures can drop to below freezing point. And
you wouldn't believe it. Today we had a beautiful summer's day
been
here.
a very beautiful day.
In winter it must be absolutely
Very
freezing.
freezing in
Yeah.
winter.
Of course we're very close to the
Close to the ski resorts, yes.
Yeah.
In winter, when you have to travel, you have to have the chains of the tires in your boots to just in case you get stuck in the snow. I once got stuck, and it was a big problem to keep on driving. I had to stop. Somebody stopped and helped me. So that's something that you don't see in South Africa.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. This place, the name is
Maciel Molinete. Maciel Molinete. It was before it was an old mill. What was used for grinding the grain into flour.
Right.
And they converted it into a, like you can see, a beautiful rural hotel. Very,
It's really nice. Yeah.
it's very popular, and if you don't really know about it, you'd never know where it's situated.
No. Somebody
It's
would
hidden
have
away
to
in a valley.
bring you here. Yeah.
It's really, I think it's one of the nicest places that Valbona has.
Yeah.
People come, they can swim, they can go horse riding.
Yeah.
The children can go cycling. They've got cycling And you can even go on a route along the river.
Right.
They take you along the river, in the river, out the river. It's actually quite nice in summer.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard the cuisine here is excellent.
Of course.
And I think they've prepared something for us to take a
Dish
look at.
prepared with truffle,
Mm-hmm.
with blood truffle.
That looks very nice.
Smells delicious, doesn't it?
So, Rosa, really, the last years, 18, 19 years, you spent your life mainly in
Balbona, yes. I've spent most of my life in Balbona, and now recently, for the last couple of months, I've started looking at doing lessons in Alcañiz, and but most of my time I spend in Balbona, especially weekends, and as much as I can. And I've been teaching in Balbona for many years.
Yeah. So you must know what this dish consists of.
It looks like they've prepared roast lamb with herbs and the typical truffle of the region. So it's very popular and very tasty.
You tried it before. Is this one
Yes,
of
I have. I have. Yeah.
one of the typical things here?
They use truffle like this before for many dishes, and
Yeah.
it really does give a nice taste to all the dishes.
Yeah. Looks very good. Maybe we should try a
Do you
little
want
bit.
to try?
Yeah.
Okay, please do.
So here we are again at the end of the program. I don't know how we managed to do